brother, we know Mississippi is a football state. As much as I love basketball, I gotta admit that, okay? And I know people were locked into the NFL draft. I know that you used to go across this whole state covering football in your former life.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I know that's something we cover heavily here on Put It On Something. All right. So we had some guys, some notable guys come out of these Mississippi schools. I touched on James Houston from Jackson State earlier in the show. I told y'all America, I'm Negro Dumbest now. I told y'all that was gonna happen. I told y'all book it. Okay. But we also had some other guys, man, go from schools around the state. Guys like Sam Williams from Ole Miss, guys like Matt Corral, quarterback from Ole Miss. Y'all remember him now. Don't forget he had some Heisman hype.
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
he had some Heisman
did.
hype,
That's
but
right.
his draft stock took a little hit. All right, Snoop Connor out of Ole Miss as well. Charles Cross, who went probably the highest out of everybody on this list, if I'm not mistaken, out of Mississippi State, and Martin Emerson out of Mississippi State. Just to name a few of the guys who went. And we know there's been a plethora of guys going out with the undrafted free agents and things like that. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to ask my brother Ray Leo, which Mississippi draftee he thinks is in the best situation to have success. Like who does he think has been put up maybe in the right team, the right scheme?
Yeah.
Who gonna get the most snaps? Whatever the situation may be, who do you think is in the best situation for success?
So I'll give it to you a couple of ways. I'll end with the guy who I think will have the most overall success.
Okay.
Based on a couple of factors. The first person I think that's going to have individual success is going to be Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. In the past, when you talked to Mississippi State, you talked about power football. You know, when you had Dan Mullen and Dak Prescott and that tremendous running game. Even before those guys, when you had Anthony Dixon under the Coach Kroom regime at the time, that was power football. Well, now they run air raid offense with Mike Leach, and Charles Cross showed that he was an elite, and I mean a true elite offensive tackle, where he can come in day one and make an impact with the Seattle Seahawks. So you'll see that guy. You don't get drafted in the top 10 of all the NFL draft if you don't have that skill set. So the good feet, strong hands, you'll see all of that day one with a guy like Charles Cross. When I say, and I hate to admit it, somebody who is going to be well taken care of because their team did a great job this past week in drafting Philadelphia Eagles, man. Philadelphia Eagles did a tremendous job.
I
First
know
of all,
you hate that. America, he
man.
is being a straight journalist on this because he
man.
despises the
Because
Philadelphia Eagles.
They put some things together. First and foremost, they drafted Jordan Davis. He slipped to 13, and I know some people say, well, he didn't slip. He just got drafted. No, I really think he slipped because this guy's one of the best interior linemen that's been drafted in a couple of years, man. But we're not talking about Jordan. Jordan Davis got drafted in the first round for them. They made a trade and picked up A.J. Brown. So you got those pieces together, right? Mm-hmm. And then they went and picked up a young man from Horn Lake, Mississippi, played at Georgia with Jordan Davis by the name of Nakobe Dean. Mm-hmm. Nakobe Dean, he can go, man. He's a smaller linebacker, but sideline to sideline, you won't find many quicker guys. So if he can come in and just kind of fly under the radar with that team that's on the rise, if you ask me, that'll be a good opportunity for Nakobe Dean to step in and make impacts, whether it be special teams, third down situations. He can enjoy success from a team standpoint. So I've given you individual and I've given you team standpoint, right? You know I had to bring it back to the Dallas Cowboys, man. Sam Williams was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, my Dallas Cowboys. And as much as I would like to brag about it being, just because he got drafted by the Cowboys, it's two things. Sam can play. If you watch his highlight reel, or if you just watch him play every Saturday, he is a true edge rusher, right? He is quick. He's a big quick guy. He's not like a 230-pound quick guy. He's more like a 255-pound quick guy. All right. The important piece to me is he replaces Randy Gregory for us, who took, another deal to go to the Denver Broncos. So he can slide in and fill that role that Randy Gregory had much success in this past season. With Tank Lawrence on one end, this young man on the other end, and Michael Parsons coming into year 2, That's a tremendous pass rush with some great linemen that we already have. But I really feel like for Sam, he gets the best of both worlds. He gets to come in and learn under a guy like Tank, flourish with a guy like Michael Parsons, but also he has a spot waiting for him. If he is willing to take that step, he gets meaningful snaps the entire game, the entire season, and he can enjoy some real team success. So I think Sam Williams just stepped into a really good situation, a second round pick with an opportunity to truly play day one. So for me personally, I just think Sam Williams can have the best of both worlds, while you'll see Charles Cross have individual success, maybe not team success, and Nicole Dean will have team success. But if my guys have anything about it, it won't be that team success that goes on to the next level.
Now why you gonna throw that in there?
I had to do that.
Why what round did y'all take him?
Second round. So we went O-line first round. Young man out of Tulsa. And then Jerry did the right thing, man, and replaced Randy Gregory, because, like I said, he had a great year. Yeah,
I've been seeing a lot of stuff about him leaving.
Yeah, man. He had a great
not liking
season.
the language in the contract or something like that.
Yeah. It was a situation where he wanted things to be written a little bit different in his contract. And listen, rightly so, he gets to pick. He earned that opportunity to be a free agent. You know, I know everybody wants to focus on his past issues, but I don't. The last time you saw him, he was on the straight and narrow. He was balling out. So give that young man an opportunity to grow from that and go to the next level. Don't hold that over his head. So he moved on. And I give Jerry and Steven and the rest of their front office leadership, I give them credit. They saw the hole, they saw the need, and they saw Sam Williams out there in the second round and said, man, what an opportunity. I was a little upset that they didn't go and get Jermaine Johnson when he had dropped really low in the first round, and the Jets ended up picking him up with like their third first round draft pick. But they had a plan and they stuck to it. And I really do think Sam Williams is first and foremost a tremendous player. Like I said, at Ole Miss, they didn't have a lot of defense this year because they were in a lot of, run and gun games, but Sam Williams is definitely a bright spot. Immediate pass rush. I think he can improve in the run game. That'll happen as he starts to figure it out. But dude, when it comes to pass rushing, you won't find many better out of that SEC. And we all know the SEC, until somebody says different, is king when it comes to trench play, offensive and defensive line.
Now, Corral, tell me if I'm wrong. Now, it seemed like I was getting notifications on my phone talking about he was sliding due to alcohol issues and folks talking about inconsistencies in his behavior, stuff like that. Was that stuff? Were there rumblings about that
before
while he was in school?
Before,
did I miss it or something?
When he transferred into Ole Miss, that was the story behind him. But all this past season, ESPN and ABC and Ole Miss Athletics, they all were talking about how he's the leader of the team. Whether it be he was the first person to show up and the last person to leave, and the way he even changed his approach and dress, and just his demeanor and treating teammates. Again, I know that was a knock on him before, but I thought he had all of that cleaned up, man. But listen, NFL front office, scouting, GMs, staff members, you name it, they do their due diligence, right? Like they are world renowned. The NFL is for going and digging and going back to 8th grade and pulling your medical records from 8th grade on. They will find it. If you have any flaw, they will find it. Sometimes I think they harp too much on it, but again, they will find it. So where I thought it might have been something that was cleaned up, I'm not sure. I hope in this case they are wrong, and they got it wrong, and this young man slipped. And my hope for Matt Corral is, he makes them pay. Even if it's my team that he has to make pay, then so be it. Because, regardless of what they say about him, maybe having some errors in that area, you'll hear scouts say he has the quickest release in the draft. He has the best feet that they've seen in 10 years. Well, that's the kind of stuff that gets it done on Sundays, man. So if you got that part wrong, then Matt Corral is going to be a really good player in the NFL for a long time.
Well, as I said on the previous segment, shout out to James Houston. That's the guy who and we covered all these schools at least once.
That's it.
Throughout the past season. But I know I didn't miss a Jack State game in our coverage.
Yeah.
And this guy was my favorite player, as I stated previously, James Houston. Hate that he went to the Detroit Lions.
In your division now, yeah.
So I wish him well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
In every game except for those. Okay.
Except for those two.
Except for those. Okay. But shout out to him. I think he can do well as well, man. That man,
for sure.
6th round, that was slipping.
Yeah,
like I think it was, you know, folks thinking that in the SWAC, that the competition, particularly in the trenches, with the so-called big uglies, maybe wasn't up to par. But he was dominant.
They'll find out.
I'm gonna repeat that. He was dominant.
They'll find out.
Like he's supposed to be. So I think he'll have a great shot at doing some great things in Detroit again. Just hopefully. Not versus my Green Bay Packers. But America, y'all chime in and y'all tell us who y'all got. You know what I'm saying? Who y'all think will be successful? Who do you see being a star from Mississippi schools out of this draft? Who do you think is in the best situation for success? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the scheme or the coach, the division, whatever the case may be. All right, y'all let us know in the comment section. Put it on something. My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
makes a statement.